Hello once again, good people. This is a continuation of last month's pickups from local comic shops. This being the used and back issues, trade paperbacks, stuff from bargain bins, dollar bins, and other stuff. Yeah, a bunch here. Sorry I didn't get to this sooner, but had some other videos come in on the queue that probably took a little bit of precedent. But let's go here. A bunch of stuff here, lots to talk about. As usual, we're going to stop once in a while to look through and talk about the art and the writing. Let's go. Okay, first up are some recent back issues from that I got from Mighty Comics, kind of like my home-based comic shop. So I have an account there, so these come to, even though the back issues that aren't priced when there's not a regular sale, it's American cover price minus, what is 10, 15% or something. So after tax, these come to be a little less than the American cover price, which is pretty good for Canada. But anyway, I hear this is one of the best recent horror comics to come out in recent years from a lot of channels. I heard about this on Comic Tropes. So if you ever hear me saying your mileage may vary, that's I kind of got that from him, right? But yeah, a good channel, even though some people might disagree. You know, you can't bat 1,000 and please everybody all the time, but a good channel. But anyways, this is Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, and it kind of has this what's that old kids book series Town, where it's animal people. Anthropomorphic people. It has this kind of cutie look, but that of course is all set on its head with the violence. It's about a small town. This bear woman here is a serial killer, and the plot, I guess, not spoilers because I think it starts the plot at the end. You find out that there's another serial killer. There's her, what she's up to. Cutting up this dude and putting him in different paint cans and burying them. Nice and clean, she says. That I guess another serial killer emerges, kind of operating on her turf, and she's worried that it's going to bring attention to her killings. Here she is just chilling. So I believe what happens after this issue is she kind of makes it her mission to try and, while eluding the police attention, also trying to find that other serial killer. But yeah, I hear this is really good. I guess it's hard for me to get super grabbed by issue 1. So the only way for me to read more is to buy the trade paperback new right now, and I'm just not super grabbed myself by it enough to do that. I'd kind of like to either buy issue 2, but that's unavailable locally it seems, rather than committing to the full trade paperback. But yeah, your mileage may vary. So this might be a good one, but I wasn't super into it. I can see the appeal, but maybe it's not super for me. But yeah, seems pretty cool. But yeah, your mileage may vary. Okay, an alternate cover of Gun Honey Collision Course #1. I just like this cover, even though it's a second print. I think they kind of do this kind of pop art kind of look for reprints. So yeah, I'm on board for that. This might go in the for sale bin, or I might keep it because I like this cover. From the Geoff Johns, what's this? Ghost Machine universe, Hyde Street. This is kind of like a Twilight Zone-y kind of vibe. I think they're almost like minions in hell, trying to fight for claiming souls and getting them to sin or suffer. It was alright. I probably won't check out more of it though, but it's kind of like if I would have the opportunity to read them for free, I might check them out then, and maybe I would change my opinion and be more into it. But not bad at all. Laura and Other Stories is Guillem March. This isn't new, but recent years. I like this Guillem March stuff. I guess she's just kind of dealing with a breakup and trying to move on and come to terms with all that, and her friends are trying to get her to go out and meet new people, that kind of thing. The Guillem March art is always nice. The line work and the painting, so it's very, very well done. So yeah, I've read issue number 1, and then I just recently got issue number 2 there as well, so I'll check that out. Nexus, Mike Barrett and Steve Rude, volume 2 of the newspaper strips. I thought I should just like grab a bunch of these. I should have at the time they were coming out, but yeah, here's number 3, number 4, and number 5, the final of volume 2. Sad to hear that this will be, I guess, cancelled, but you know, you can't stop Nexus, so I'm sure there'll be other iterations. The final issue of Rook Exodus, but spoilers, it does seem like this will go on, which I will say it isn't like a bait and switch where where you're like think it's going to be a final issue or conclusion, and then you get a thing where like things aren't resolved and you have to like keep going. It actually has kind of like a good resolution, and just like an expansion on the world where you're like, yeah, I would want like a sequel. I want to see more of this world. So it's kind of like the chapter or volume 1 issues get resolved, but also the world is like bigger and there's more that'll happen too. So pleased with this. Some good action sci-fi. I'll talk more about this later, I think, but just big budget action sci-fi stuff. Pretty fun stuff. The art is like amazing too. Torpedo 1972, issue number 2. Haven't read this yet because I want to read issue number 1. Probably some good crime though. Wolverine Road to Hell. There's a second copy of this because I liked it enough that I think I can vouch for it and sell it too. You've got some Rick Remender and Leonardo Manco in here. Dan Way and Marjorie Liu. Jason Aaron and Renato Guedes. The highlight for me was the Rick Remender and Leonardo Manco. This kind of there's a prequel basically to the first volume of Uncanny X-Force. It's kind of a prologue chapter. Where do we have it here? Is this it? No, this is a preview for something else. Oh, that's a preview for Namor. This is the preview for Uncanny X-Force, basically. And you know I'm a fan of that, so pretty decent. From the pages of Uncanny X-Force, Age of Apocalypse by David Lapham and somebody Della Torre. So I'll check this out because I just couldn't get enough of that Uncanny X-Force. This is like, remember that Cable Hope? That was, I guess, kind of a prequel to X-Men Second Coming, so I found chapter 1 of this also here. Okay, he has at the back of the store a half-off American cover price bunch of shelves for trade paperbacks. So this was there. So this comes out to $7.50. Not bad to try out some Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips crime. This is Coward from the Criminal series by them, and this was pretty good. Kind of good, like neo-noir. Some more Rick Remender and Jerome Pena. Or Opena? No, it's Opena, right? Because it has that little squiggle over the N. Yeah, they were the team on Uncanny X-Force, so just checking out what they're going to do. There's another trade paperback from there, half the American cover price, so just $5 for that. Good stuff. Richard Tomasso, Volume 2 of She-Wolf. I liked She-Wolf Volume 1. It's kind of an indie, fun werewolf series that has horror and paranormal elements too, but just kind of this, kind of just like hanging out with friends, kind of like adventure kind of stuff that maybe I would enjoy like back in like the 20s. Kind of vibes of those indie comics of like Ghost World or Love and Rockets and stuff. Not exactly that, but kind of gives me the same kind of feelings. You can see that it's quite different from that, but just, just like hanging out with friends, getting up to shit. But yeah, in a werewolf kind of world, I guess, here, and werewolves and demons and vampires and stuff. And Rich Tomasso's art is pretty fun in it. an extra copy. Well, I don't have a copy of this there, but I saw that this was there, and I've seen good reviews on like Comic Crack and other elsewhere that these Dark Horse editions of Richard Corben look very well done, like well put together, good nice books, like nice even book design and binding and everything. That's important to me in a hardcover. So I gotta ask though, what's with the quotes by Patton Oswalt on everything? Why is he like such a huge authority on? Just because he's a celebrity? I don't really understand, but whatever. I don't care. I just don't even really know who that is, except he's like a celebrity or something, right? But whatever. Anyways, Den, Richard Corben should be good. Another half off hardcover in this case, so this is a pretty good deal because these are nice big boy books. 30 quid, so 60 US would be the, what would it be in Canadian? 80 Canadian plus tax. You're looking at like $100 book here, but luckily not having to spend that much. Yeah, some Mirage Studios reprints. You've got Kevin Eastman cover and inside covers, cover page. These look like it's just all like backup stories that I'm not even familiar with, I guess. I don't think. Here's pencils by Kevin Eastman, inks by Richard Corben. Lots of Eastman and Laird on these. That's nice to see. Inks by Jim Lawson on that one. Man, there's lots of Eastman stuff. Steve Bissett. Eastman and Laird again. Yeah, tons of Eastman and Laird. Hell yeah, dude. Okay, I did pretty good on this. Oh yeah, this is from... Is this from issue number 17? Here's Talbot, 1987. R.I.P. Special thanks to Glenn Danzig. You know, these dudes are keeping it real. What else we got? Story and art by Michael Zulli. Oh, that's a different one that I'm familiar with. Jim Lawson, Eric Talbot. I love Eric Talbot. Michael Zulli again. More Eric Talbot. Eric Talbot and Michael Zulli. Holy crap, dude. Alright, this should be sick. There's so much Eastman and Talbot. Oh man, it's like mostly Eastman and Laird and Talbot. Hell yeah, dude. That rules. And this is all stuff I don't know where these all come from. Are they... Maybe they're backup stories from like reprintings of Mirage Studios stuff, or are they backup stories from like later IDW? This might be from like Tales of the TMNT. Oh man, the Triceratons, hell yeah. Yes, Eastman Talbot. Oh no, okay, this isn't from issue number 17. Ghoul's Night Out, it says, which of course is an old Misfits song. Talbot rules. Yeah, the way he like draws these kind of melting pot style vampire monsters. Triceraton. That's Eastman. I remember this one. This is from like issue... Oh yeah, the backup story from Raphael, second printing. Yeah, maybe it's just weird stuff like that. So I've seen that story before. I will keep it moving, but I don't think anybody can complain about looking through this a little bit, right? I'll try to put some chapter notes, though, to be able to skip. This must be in Michael Zulli. Alice Codegus. That's Casey Jones. What a great adaptation. More Zulli there, for sure. Okay, cool. I did a good job getting this one. I remember I like flipped through a little bit, and I was like, yeah, this looks pretty good, but I think it's better than I even thought by the looks of it. Okay, last from that store. I've been digging some of that Chuck Dixon Winter World. This is a novel released in 2015, so it's weird how things all come together. That you find a comic just hiding like from the 80s, and then find that there was a novel that he did in like 2015, Winter World. And it's winter time, a good time to read some winter chilly stuff. Alright, next shot. I traded in some stuff at Cap's COLLECTIBUZZ, or Captain's COLLECTIBUZZ, on Henderson Street, here locally. And mainly I wanted to go there to get this, the Rat God hardcover, because I'd seen it before and I was like, please let that be there next time I go there, but let me just trade for it instead of forking over significant cash. Well, like 27 or 25. It would be like plus tax or whatever if it wasn't a trade either. But I did love this Richard Corben story. I talked about it before, kind of Lovecraftian, but with Corben's personality and creativity, he's able to elevate it above the usual Lovecraftian kind of fanfic stuff. This comes out to a unique and powerful and fun story. Yeah, I really like this one, so glad to get it. Have it almost entirely in the, I think maybe entirely in the single issue form too, but this is one that is nice enough for me to have in 2 different formats. Really like this one, Rat God by Richard Corben. Again in that trade, saw this. I didn't look through like everything again, but just I like found Rat God. Then I'm like, yeah, just I'll find like the first stuff that like grabs my eyes to do a good trade. Might trade there again, but I don't get as much trade there. Well, just talking from the one deal, I think I would have got like maybe 25% more in or so if I were to trade at Red River, but just like, you know, to deal with different stock, I guess. So blah blah blah. Anyways, The Complete Classic Adventures by Alex Toth of Zorro. Is it Toth or Toth? I want to say Toth because then it's more like the Egyptian guy, right? But yeah, this should be good too. I can dig some Zorro and some Alex Toth. So nice brush ink work. This must be brush, right? I like to see some black and white. Just strong, fast, efficient, but powerfully done brushwork or ink work. It's cool to see. Last from there. Oh wait, not last. I got this Ray Bradbury comics. I saw that it had Richard Corben and Alec Williamson. I'm not too familiar with Ray Bradbury actually, but yeah, when it has those dudes, why not give it a shot? $2. This Art of Charles Vess, Drawing Down the Moon. I think I've wanted this book since I was a kid, or at least wanted to see through it, so this was a good deal. This was priced only at $18. I'm pretty surprised. This seems like it should be worth more, shouldn't it? We're going to quickly look through here, because why not showcase some Charles Vess art? Let me stand up and get a better angle. Adjust the light. Do a better job here of showcasing some stuff. I mean, like every page is packed with art, but let's just show some. That's from Web of Spider-Man #1, of course. Some more nice Spider-Man here. With Hobgoblin, I guess that is. Hard to do this with one hand, but yada yada. Majored in printmaking in college, okay. Oh, I just love how, like, lush this, what do you call it? What do you call it? Clothing? Drapery? I like how it looks there. Just kind of stopping on random things here. Again, I'll put chapter breaks in if you want to skip, but why not enjoy some Charles Vess art? I love how glowy everything looks on this. It just really does look so... I don't want to say magical, because, you know, I sound like a fruit talking like that, but... How does he able to achieve this effect? The contrasts, I suppose. Varied, there's kind of like a misty look separating this background. So even though these background, like, it could be like touching it by having that kind of misty glow there. It could be like light hitting the froth from the waterfall, but it creates distance there. You could tell. You could tell that it's like far off rather than if it was just hitting it. What else can we talk about? I'm trying to use my brain to be smart here. It just looks nice as hell, though. Just like that black and white art. The line work also. More of that kind of glow aspect that he achieves a lot. Kind of an ethereal, like otherworldly kind of glow quality. You can note here that obviously this kind of moon or whatever it would be draws a lot of attention, and if that wasn't there, this piece would be like so different. It would seem so much darker and like not glowing or bright there. More of that kind of soft, lush look. And even just, yeah, silhouette in the foreground is pretty nice there. Kind of gives it like a dark, kind of sinister feeling, have that silhouette be the foreground, hey? I like how they do this in this book. They have these pages where, like, it's kind of like the pencil work. I love it. I love that pencil work, man. This is not a mechanical pencil. This has to be just like a normal, like, number 2 or something. Or maybe like a 2B pencil or something like that. But, yeah, and then it like, when you have it going over the next page, it has the color coming through of the finished piece. That's cool when they do that in this book sometimes. The Selkie of Sulskeri. These are in Book of Ballads and Sagas, King Henry. Yeah, Book of Ballads and Sagas. I do recommend it if you're into this kind of thing. More of this, like, pencil over the finished piece. Let's show that pencil if we can a little more. I am a fan of that. Oh man, that looks so good. That's the kind of thing that makes you want to draw, bro. Just seeing the roughs come to that point, you know? Maybe that's like more like the inking, the finished ink, but Riggedy Ann and Andy. This custom painting he did for a bookstore. Reading as an adventure. You gotta love that, man. The love. Reading is an adventure worth sharing. More of that pencil over the finished art. Let's take a look. Oh, that looks nice too. Yeah, I'm glad I got this. This is one off the wish list for years, and I think it doesn't disappoint. Here's a statue or a fountain that he collaborated with a sculptor, I think, to have bronze. That's cool too. Oh, inspired by Midsummer Night's Dream. Here's talking about a work from like rough draft to completion. Let's finish on that, hey? Here's the finished. That's what he looks like. I never knew. Yeah, that was drawing down the moon. The Art of Charles Vess. Yeah, nice one. Last from that trade, I had like $2 more. Or actually, I think I went like $2 over this with this, but he called it even without me even asking. So you gotta like it when people do that. Just because I thought there was a good price on this, right? I like Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Conner when they work together, and always wondered about this. There's just, I don't know, there's something about her that is interesting. Maybe there's two things about her. But yeah, we'll just see what this is like, what it's about, just for fun. Oftentimes Amanda Conner makes fun stuff, even though it's usually more poppy than the style of art that I usually am drawn towards. She usually doesn't disappoint. Okay, next shop. Stopped by Red River Books because I saw that they had some stuff posted on Facebook that they had just got in that I looked like I would be interested in. You know, I collect these kind of like Avatar and Boundless, bad girl, demon chick kind of things. And yeah, they're often a lot better than the genre of like bad girl stuff. This is Helena. I will say though that it seems, at least on a glance, that the Boundless era has like a higher tier of art. This is a little bit 90s out on the inside, and I don't know about the writing either. The writing on the Boundless stuff seems pretty good though. I'm not sure about the Avatar. Nightcrawler #1 was missing this, so glad to get it. Now I'll just read that full series in completion. And Uncanny X-Force trade paperback volume 1. Again, another series that I'm down to have, like most of the trade paperbacks, as well as the single issues. This one, kind of, there's like some better story arcs though, so I think I'll just go for the trades in that one. In the like better story arcs, I mean. The first one, Apocalypse Solution, is a highlight for sure. One of the best. Okay, next shop. So I worked near 204 Comics quite a lot in the past month. So yeah, this whole box is stuff from there. There's like 50-cent bin stuff, dollar bin, and $2 magazines, and more expensive stuff. Let us go. Okay, the 50-cent bins. Another copy of Dart. There's two different versions of this cover. It's kind of weird, but they both say first printing, I think, too. So, you know, we've talked about that before. Deadman, Love After Death by Mike Baron and Kelly Jones. My favorite collaborative team on Deadman. So, this is issue #1, and this is just awesome. So awesome, this. All the Mike Baron and Kelly Jones Deadman is the shit, bro. So, I highly recommend it. Very visceral stuff, and like, kind of like, offensive humor at times too, for this generation maybe. Not PC. Which is rare. I wonder if we'll even get to the point where they're writing stuff this crazy again. Anywho, Gen 13, 13C. I don't know what this. I feel like I've never seen this issue before, but it almost seems kind of familiar. But a lot of non-Gen 13 characters in here. You got Madman. So it's cool to see J. Scott Campbell drawing this stuff, like the Max. I don't know who this chick is. Almost looks like a Lady Death universe style chick, but she's green. Hellboy, Monkey Man and O'Brien. There's She again. Some more babes. You know, J. Scott Campbell is a fan of drawing babes. Wolverine. Heavy Art Adams influence, right? Yeah, so someday I'll read Gen 13. Maybe. Some G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. I think these are on the lists on like forums and stuff of some of the better G.I. Joe story arcs or issues. This is number 27, number 45, number 50. These are all beat up, though, so hence why they're in the dollar bin. G.I. Joe Yearbook number 3. Again, that silent issue, finding it cheap. And again, if you're interested in what the Baron wears under her uniform, there she is, tied up and bound with her mouth gagged too. Red underwear, negligee or lingerie, whatever the fuck you call it, right? I'm no expert. I just know what I like, right? So there's that. That's G.I. Joe Yearbook number 3. Another silent issue. Green Arrow Annual number 2. Was missing that one. Some nice reprints of Spider-Man with Marvel Tales number 81. I'll just always get Marvel Tales when it's cheap. It's a good way to get that old Spider-Man stuff, like John Romita and stuff, or even Ditko. Marvel Tales 156. Marvel Tales 190. Spider-Man No More. That's a classic issue, right? I think Robert Sean Hamilton, in the comments, you were telling me that this run of Mr. Miracle is good. Number 19. I think you said 19 to 26 or something like that. So here's number 19. This is the only one I was able to find out of that run there, but I think the first one that you mentioned. Because who is this team? I think you were telling me. Steve Englehart, Marshall Rogers, and Ilya Hunch. Copy of Mystery number 46. Also getting these. I do like Max Collins. Terry Beatty's art also good on these. Thriller number 4. Putting together a bunch of these. We'll see what the verdict is after. And All New War from Charlton Comics. Got some Fokker. But that's not the triplane. Is it Fokker DR1? I'm trying to remember. Red Baron from Sierra Games, like 1990. Mig Country. So, seems like some fighter plane knowledge is in full effect in these. Yeah, I like giving Charlton stuff a chance. Often it's quite good. Okay, the dollar bins. From the Frank Miller Presents universe, Dan Didio and somebody Bayreuth. Ancient Enemies number 1. This doesn't look like my kind of thing, but let's see what the Frank Miller Presents universe is like. Yeah, give it a try. Apex Legends Overtime. Shout out to one of the godfathers of comic hall video channels. Kind of helped get me into this, like seeing those back in the day while I'd be like buying and sorting and cleaning and putting away like bagging and boarding comics, pop comics. And he's often said that some of these video game properties, if you don't like necessarily like them, they will probably accumulate in value over time as like say people from this generation, maybe they'll be looking for stuff like this later on. So why not take a chance on it? Speaking of nostalgia, a little bit of nostalgia for me. I saw this and I recognized it from like hunting for it when I was a kid. Cerebus Biweekly number 20. Wait, which number is this? I remember that it has an early kind of rare milk and cheese comic in the back. And that's why I hunted it out when I was a kid and why I got it again for $1 for a rare milk and cheese comic. Milk and Cheese, the single page. You can see this is like early 1989. I've heard some things about this. I think even La Raza was talking about it. Or Raza. Maybe it's Peter Milligan, Duncan Figueredo, Enigma, number 1. I think they have the whole set there, but I grabbed number 1. So I think they have 2 to 8 there still. I might check it out if they're still there and I like that one. Paul Guinan and Anina Bennett, Heartbreakers. There's some fun action sci-fi from 90s Dark Horse. Magnus Robot Fighter and Nexus by Mike Barron and Steve Rude. You could tell this is kind of like a labor of love, passion project from them, I think. So I had issue number 1, so finally finding number 2. More Marvel Tales, some more reprints of Spider-Man here with Kraven the Hunter. Marvel Tales 153, 154, featuring Daredevil, 181, Nexus, issue 100. Getting a whole box of Nexus these days now. Nexus, The Origin. I'm not familiar with the Ruka run on OMAC, but I do like OMAC, so checking this out. The OMAC Project number 1 of this volume. Some more RASL, getting a bunch of these too. This is issue number 11. Number 12. Is it Razzle or RASL? I'm not sure. Number 15. More copies of Rune number 1. Why not? Rune number 1. And number 2. Number 3. And number 5. Just kind of want to put together a little set if I can, too. Just kind of miscellaneous, like, extra issues for sale so far. The Shadow, number 5. Going for these. I don't think this is Michael Kaluta, but Frank Robbins, it says on the cover. Stark Future, Volume 1, Book 1. I got this because the cover kind of looked cool, but the interior doesn't look as cool, but we'll see. This might be a good find. I hear good things about this. Bill Sienkiewicz, Stray Toasters. Is this a complete series? Because its number is 1 to 4 here. It's number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. More of this Neil Gaiman's Technophage, because, you know, it has Brian Talbot and Rick Veitch. I'm quite a fan of Brian Talbot. Veitch sometimes also. Thriller, number 3. And number 7. This might be the last issue with Fleming and Von Eden. I'm not sure. Can't remember. What If the Punisher Had Killed Daredevil? This is a very good issue of What If. It's pretty hardcore. As a kid, this was one that was like pretty chilling to read. It's pretty crazy, man. Pretty violent, pretty sad, and scary, and yeah, pretty dark stuff. Really good, though. Spider-Man figuring heavily into this also. His life gets turned upside down, and he goes through some hell, too. Winter World number 2. I talked about issue number 1 in a previous video recently, how great I found it. Chuck Dixon and Jorge Zafino. This is number 2, kind of just continuing along. I don't want to give any spoilers or anything, but I really want to find number 3 now, which I haven't as yet. Okay, continuing. Okay, $2 stuff now. There isn't actually like a $2 section or $3 necessarily. These are just mixed in, like, these are from the indie section, but a lot of stuff at decent prices here, such as Richard Corben's Children of Fire. This is like a second or third copy for me, but I see Corben at a decent price, I'll get it. So Children of Fire number 1. Number 2. Eclipse Comics, Don McGregor and Marshall Rogers, Detective Inc. number something. I don't know if this is like designed this way or if it's just really damaged. I actually think this is actually number 1 though, thankfully. For mature audiences. Alright, let's go. I'm mature. Kevin Eastman. These other last names, Avalon and Bishop, Little, Varga, and Esposito. It's just some, like, from Image Comics, too. Some Eastman that I'm not familiar with, so I'll check it out. Drawing Blood, issue 4. The Story Behind the Stories. This is the subtitle, okay. Drawing Blood number 5. It's fun to see Eastman still going for it, still doing art. Alright, more issues of M. Talked about this on the previous month's haul from there. Had to go back and get more. So this is book 2. Book 1 was great horror. 2 becomes more of like a... Or in these later issues, much like the movie, of course. Hold on. Yeah, much like the movie, it comes more of like a crime... What's the word? Here he is looking into a window. Just to talk about Muth's like composition again. Let me fix the light. Better light maybe. I think I like the more like a wire arm lamps rather than these like you know, the ones that kind of like have folds and springs. They're a little bit unwieldy, these, but anyways, so he's looking in this window. all these knives in the window, but the reflection of the little girl behind him too. The look on his face. Muth just says these like haunting, kind of crazy things. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, every page is like very well done. Greg is in the Hall of the Mountain King, I believe that. Oh yeah, he drops that apple. Start walking towards her. But then he's like kind of stalking her, and she meets like friends or family. The look on his face too. So good. That expression. The madness. He goes into a shop, orders a drink, sees like this little girl dead on the table in front of him. He's just like hallucinating it, of course. Was that in the movie? It's been a long time since I've seen the movie. Yeah, this is awesome, man. Yeah, really nice stuff. So that was Fritz Lang and John J. Muth's M, number 2. And here's number 3. I think this is the second last issue. Yeah, the plot thickens for sure. An issue of Planetary. This is Planetary number 9. An issue of Animerica. This is a little bit beat up, but in the previous video, I think we talked when we were talking about new releases, we were talking about a little bit about 80 Police, Tony Takezaki. This has a chapter by him. So, kind of nice to get it. I have it in a trade paperback, but it's like that little tankobon size. So, being able to get it at like a larger size is like this one of the only ways maybe to do so. Yeah, fun stuff. Here's a great score. This is the kind of thing that's like, thank goodness I was there to find this. Hard Boiled, issue number 1 for $2, man. In the magazine section, $2 used magazine section. Oh, hell yeah, brother. I think I've got the whole series for myself now, but maybe I'll be able to put a whole set together, a second one for sale or for friends. You know, this is just absolute madness. Madness. Gotta show it a little bit. This takes like less than a minute to flip through all these pages, doesn't it? Oops. Again, from that $2 bin. Yeah, that's how often you get to look through the whole thing. Oh! I guess it should be the other way. Anyway, from that $2 bin, some early issues of Savage Sword of Conan, number 53, number 57, number 70, number 71, number 72. There's some other ones like above issue 100. I'm concentrating on the ones like lower than number 100, but Savage Sword of Conan is like usually good no matter what the number, so maybe it would be worth getting some more of those after, but I'm just doing like one thing at a time right now. Okay, last month I had got Blade Runner 2019 number 1 with the Sid Mead variant cover, and that's what made me buy it, but then I found out it was actually good art and good writing, so I went back there to get more. This is issue number 2, but sadly, like last month, they had like a ton of like the whole series, I think, with the Sid Mead variants and like, yeah, even other series, but now they're like mostly gone. So I was only able to get issue number 2, rather than like get the series in completion, which kind of a bummer because I would have liked to get the Sid Mead covers too. But, so that's Blade Runner 2019 number 2. An issue of Dawn, Joseph Michael Linsner. Is that? Yeah, Joseph Michael Linsner, yeah. Dawn number 2. These can be a bit hit or miss. Dawn, The Return of the Goddess, number 4. Rook Exodus, number 5. Torpedo, 1972, number 1. So yeah, now I can read issue number 2 also after this. Oh yeah, they have a used trade paperback section. It's not huge, but it is 3 for $10. So I saw this, man. This Big Thick Boy, Black Hole by Charles Burns. This is a great score. And yeah, at this deal, I was like, I'll find 3 to make it like $3.33, right? For this, that's great. What's the cover price on this? Not to get too, I know, like, about pricing and stuff, but yeah, a great deal for Black Hole, Charles Burns. And Ghost Hellboy, that was another out of this 3 for $10 deal, because I've hardly ever seen the single issues, but I do want to like read this whole series. Lastly is Give Me Liberty, number 1, that counted also in there. An extra copy. Okay, I'm not one for variants all the time, but I did like Cruel Universe issue number 1 enough that I was like, yeah, I'll get this. It's not a bad price for this shiny silver foil variant of Cruel Universe, right? I think these are these limited in number? I don't know. Whatever. A little bit of speculating, but I'm like, yeah, that series is good enough that I will get that. Lastly, here's a great score. Here's a fantastic score from there. The full set of Volume 1 of Rook Exodus, issues 1 to 6, and these are all first prints also, for $15. And yeah, that's awesome, because I was having a hard time finding especially the early issues of this. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about this. Yeah, it's not mind-blowing, but it is really fun, like big budget action sci-fi. It kind of gives me feelings like nothing on par with Akira, but like it has like that big scale of like future desolate ruins and like nature and like for lack of a better term, like ruin porn, of just seeing like beautiful looking ruins and stuff of like civilization or technology juxtaposed with like action and destruction and nature. So it's fun series. And I'll say also that I got this on like a Friday, and I was like, yeah, time to fucking like sink in, man. Like just get weeded up with like edibles and stuff. I don't really smoke that much anymore because it aggravates my lungs, or it makes me want to like chain smoke too. But whatever you enjoy, I do recommend that experience of like fully immersing. It kind of gives you like vibes of maybe a bit like Princess Mononoke too. Think of that with like giant animals and stuff too, like wreaking havoc. It's pretty fun. So that being the case, I'll make a recommendation here. Check it out if you want to. But I was like, this is gonna be like a whole movie. Like if I sit and read these, it'll probably take like a good 90 minutes or at least an hour or so. And usually I prefer to read in silence, but sometimes when it comes to action, sci-fi, adventure, or horror, I might put some ambient music on in the background. And for this, I put on, Geno Yamashirogumi, or Geno Yamashirogumi, the orchestra that did the Akira soundtrack. I put on Winds of Neo Tokyo and also the Winds of Neo Tokyo slowed down, because the first chapter or two, I was able to tell that it would be like kind of dark and brooding, and that really suited that to like set an atmosphere. There was a compilation series where a bunch of DJs from around the world did like remixes of Akira stuff too, and there was like an awesome remix of Winds over Neo Tokyo. But I wasn't able to find that. That's like pretty hard to find. But anyways, Winds of Neo Tokyo and Winds of Neo Tokyo slowed down set the mood perfectly. And then I was like, yeah, man, Geno Yamashi Yorogumi, they do things so well. That I found they did another thing. They had a Cacophony Rin, which was I should like flip through the art while I'm talking about this. They did a Cacophony Rin, which is kind of like a concept album. You know, similar music vibes and instruments, of course, to Akira soundtrack, but that's an album kind of about, if I remember correctly, it's about like the creation of like universe, life, biology, kind of like in a concept of like from an atomic level or cellular level to the macro. And that's a great album, but it's a little too like wild. But I found that they did another album called Cacophony Gaia, which is more like about like Earth, nature, and that one was so perfect to listen to for this. Its highs and lows and like the action, and it's like it really like set the heart pacing. And when there's like scenes of like rampaging animals and stuff in this, or like vehicles and fights, it was like so good. It was so good. Went along with this, so I'm gonna link those down there in a comment, because I know there's like people that appreciate not just weird comics but weird music, and you don't have to take my word for it. You don't have to like match them up together, but I will tell you that they match together so good, man. I was like, this is like such a good soundtrack for these. But yeah, Rook Exodus, this is one of my favorite new series of a while, for sure. I won't say it's like mind-blowing or life-changing, like, but it is really fun, good action sci-fi. So it's just, oh man. Yeah, they're starting to have stuff where their personalities are getting taken over by the animals that they are in symbiosis with through the helmets too. So he's like worried that he's becoming like a crow, like a scavenger, like a... And here's a part where like this, oh man, this is so good. Oh, this shit's so fucking wild, man. Yeah, all these crows like talking to him all the time and just fucking with his head. And I'll say it again, like, I'm glad it didn't disappoint me in the end to find out that there could be more. It wasn't one of those things where it's like, oh man, like, you know, sometimes when they turn something into an ongoing series, you could see that they're kind of treading water and just trying to draw things out and then like lead you up to the end point where you're just left with a cliffhanger and no resolutions. This didn't do that. It did everything like very well in how I'd want like a world building to go, because yeah, everything from this kind of like a beginning maybe season you'd call it was like resolved. And yeah, okay, let's not show the final issue, but yeah, this is a good deal. Shout out to that store. I was looking for these there for a while, so I don't know if he has these like just like all together, and then finally when issue 6 came out, he's like selling them as sets once in a while. But yeah, glad to see these were like the first prints too, so pretty stoked to get like printing number 1 there. So yeah, you could tell what's recommends, what's a hits or misses lately on this video, and yeah, links in the bottom there if you want some soundtrack to this. So thanks for watching, guys. More videos to come, maybe some even book hauls, book reviews, but I'll try to have like 2 videos a week if that's the case, and not go lower than like 1 comic haul video a week. Okay, so thanks guys, and talk to you soon. If I don't talk to you before the holidays, happy holidays and lots of love. Alright, cheers, and hope you find kick-ass stuff out there. Take care. Regards.